are talking now about knives and how 1 in 5 teenagers buying knives are not ID checked. A frightening story, and presumably the internet has a lot to do with this.
Yes, 1 in 5 teenagers buying lethal knives in stores as part of a nationwide secret shopper survey were not asked for ID. Online, the situation was even worse, with half of the shoppers purchasing knives not requested to prove their age. Under law, you have to be 18 to buy a knife, including the kitchen and hardware varieties. But a large-scale undercover operation by the Serve Legal organisation has revealed that many retailers sell blades without bothering to check. Organisers made a point of recruiting particularly young-looking 18 and 19-year-olds to test shop workers' vigilance, and clearly it was often found wanting. But to play devil's advocate, surely many of the young people who carry knives as weapons are over 18, so they can do so legally, kind of. And those who are under 18 can surely raid their parents' cutlery drawers. Where there's a will, there's a way, as they say. So in the end, is the age restriction on knife purchases much of a deterrent? And as such, does it really matter that stores and online retailers are falling foul of an arguably pretty ineffective law? Joining us now is the director of the Serve Legal organisation, Ed Heaver. Hello, Ed.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Obviously, it's disconcerting that shops and online retailers are not paying any attention to the age limit on purchasing knives. But if you're listening to that point I made at the end, in the end, does it matter that much? Because kids will always manage to get hold of knives, and a lot of the kids with knives are over 18.
That is true, but I think, retailers are part of the community. They want to play a responsible role in that community, and they want to be seen as responsible retailers. And as you highlighted, knives along with alcohol, tobacco, gambling products, etc., have a 18 plus level attached to them, and therefore, retailers want to be seen to be doing the right thing.
Since you conducted this survey, have you been in touch with any of the retailers? And if so, what has their response been to their failure to check people's ages?
Well, the retailers, on the whole, employ us to audit independently their staff to demonstrate compliance against the age verification policies that they have. So, you go to a lot of shops these days, a lot of retailers, and they'll be having posters up saying challenge 25 or think 21 as their age verification policies, and they use us to check that our staff are adhering to those policies.
So the staff that didn't will have been hauled over the coals over their failure to check, yes?
I think they will certainly have their training reviewed and obviously spoken to about, what is a very serious matter. With knives, alcohol, et cetera, you can get local training standards and police activity. Operation Inspector has been widely reported in London as activity where they actually use underage people, 16, 17-year-olds, to try and catch out and see if stores and shops are retailing properly or not, as the case may be. So it is also helping those guys not having the shock of being, caught out by police and local authorities as well.
I mean, obviously it'd be preferable if the shops were 100% vigilant on age checks. But in the end, kids can just go to their parents' cutlery drawer, can't they, and get themselves a lethal weapon?
They can indeed. But I think society, you could say, has got some, has to try and offer some control. The same does apply with alcohol and tobacco as well. However, I think the government are trying to, have some media moderate control on who gets what on age-related items.
It's about a message, isn't it? It's about sending out the right message. It's a bit like it's cigarettes. You shouldn't buy them. You can't buy them under the age of 16, 18. Yeah. And the wider that message is heard, then perhaps it will put some kids off, scare them a little bit from going in to try and buy knives. But as you say, they are over.
Yeah. I think, we've been doing this for 12 years. We first started focusing on alcohol. And, if you look at recent stats, younger people are drinking less alcohol, and I think one of those reasons is they can't go to pubs and bars and off licenses like probably they were able to do back in the day to purchase alcohol underage. So it does have an impact what we're doing.
But young people are not committing less knife crime; they're committing more and more. So what do you think? I know it's not quite within your purview, but what do you think of the?
That's not really for me to comment on.
No, but what do you think of the 18-year-old limit? I mean, as I say, I mean, there are a lot of kids in gangs and knife-carrying kids, who are, I'm calling them kids, but they're 18, 19, early 20s. I mean, they get quite old, these kids. So what exactly is the point of this law?
Well, as it comes back, it comes back to previous, it is sending out a message. The age level is also consistent with other products that are considered harmful, to individuals. So I think it is a consistent level. The interesting thing is in Scotland, it's still a 16 plus product. So that's slightly inconsistent. So if you go north of the border, and if you're over 60, you can buy a knife.
So do you feel genuinely if the shops got more vigilant, if they really enforced this law, then we would at least go some way towards beginning to solve our knife crime problem?
I think it's part of a number of issues, and yes, I do.
Okay, thank you very much, Ed. That's Ed Heaver, Director of Serve Legal. I mean, it is an intractable problem, isn't it?
It's. I mean, I've got knives at home. I mean, my kids are too young at the moment even to be thinking about it. But the accessibility of knives, like cigarettes or alcohol, all of these things that are readily available everywhere, it is about this message within culture.